Uh, okay, I welcome to all of you to my channel. Okay, so today we will be continuing with the series of previous year questions analysis. So earlier we had did the analysis of the prelims paper 2021. So now we will be doing the analysis of prelims paper 2020. All right. So first of all, you need to keep in mind that in this exam 2020, cutoff was around 92.5, and last year's in 2020 two questions were controversial. So UPSC had dropped, two questions were dropped. So considering those, if we leave these questions, so out of 100, 96 marks, so cutoff was 92.5. So it basically comes around the average of, we just have to score 47% marks. If you look at, so only 47% marks have to be scored in the exam. All right. First of all, you need to keep this in mind, and this is have to keep in mind that paper was tough. Yes, if paper comes easy, then obviously cutoff will also increase. But till now, if we do the analysis of the marks since 2013-14, maximum marks that cutoff has got is 116. That was in 2016. All right. So if we even 116 look at, it's 58 questions. So 47 to 58%. Only these areas. This is the 47 to 58% number of questions that we have to attempt. I hope we can attempt such questions, and if we are able to attempt these questions with accuracy, even if it's easy, 58, or lower mark is set by the toughness. If we are able to attempt these questions with accuracy, then obviously we can score and we can clear the prelims exam. We don't have to go after all the 100 questions. No, UPSC never expects us to solve it. All right. So let's have a look at this paper itself. Let's see how many questions we can solve. And my main objective of this analysis is to, first of all, it is to tell you how to attempt the questions, develop different techniques, elimination techniques, and other more techniques that we will be discussing. All right. My first objective is to teach you this. Then second, my objective is to do the analysis of paper, and how we can do analysis, or how we can attempt these questions. I will be teaching you. Even if you have read only limited sources, still using those limited sources also we can attempt the questions. This is what we have to learn, rather than going after studying all the topics. No, we just have to keep the limited sources and keep revising them again and again. On the basis of that, we would be able to clear the prelims comfortably. All right. Okay, so let's start. All right. If you look at the first question, this question is based on Aadhaar. If you have seen, since 2016, Aadhaar has been in the news, and the 2020 itself, Supreme Court came up with the judgment on the Aadhaar. So it was expected that from the governance angle, UPSC would be asking question on the Aadhaar, because Aadhaar is one of the favorite topic of our government also. All right. So what it says, Aadhaar meta cannot be stored for more than 3 months. This is simply, if you had simply read the Supreme Court judgment, it simply says that it cannot be stored more than for 6 months. So simply first option is definitely wrong. All right. So if now we are sure first option is wrong, so let's have a look at if it apply the elimination technique. So definitely A and D has gone wrong. So what is left? B and C. So we just have to be, out of 2, 3, 4, we have to just find out one more correct option. And if we are able to identify, that means we can easily solve the questions. All right. So if we look at third option, Aadhaar is mandatory for obtaining insurance products. No, Supreme Court judgment and even Aadhaar Act says that Aadhaar is mandatory for the government schemes, but it doesn't talk about the insurance products. Insurance products, government may or may not make it mandatory. All right. So definitely third is wrong. So definitely this is also wrong. So easily through elimination technique you can solve. Otherwise, even in if you have read the Supreme Court judgment, it simply says state can enter into any contract with private corporation for sharing Aadhaar data. It's directly written in that judgment. We cannot share the data with private sector. All right. Also, as I said earlier, Aadhaar is mandatory for getting benefits funded out of the Consolidated Fund of India. This was included in the Aadhaar Act, and this was upheld by Supreme Court. And all right. So it's an easy question. That means we can attempt such questions. It's just we have to just revise and revise again and again the basic facts, and UPSC has been asking basic facts only. There's no complexity in this question. Okay. Now, if you look at second question, direct question from Lakshmikant, no difficulty. Rajya Sabha has equal power with Lok Sabha in. This clearly given in Lakshmikant, where Rajya Sabha enjoys unequal power with Lok Sabha, where enjoys equal power. So simply direct question, as we know, amending the constitution. Because in case of all India service, Rajya Sabha has more power. Removal of government, it is the no confidence motion, and it is with Lok Sabha. Yes, do study about this no confidence motion, because it was in news recently regarding Pakistan. So do study about this. And making cut motions, it also a privilege of Lok Sabha. So there's nowhere Rajya Sabha equal with Lok Sabha. Simple question. Okay. Again, if you look at third question on polity, with reference to the funds under members of MPLAD, which of the following statements are correct? So basically, it's talking about MPLAD. MPLAD was in news because 2020 COVID occurred, and because of COVID, MPLAD funds were suspended. So definitely, question was expected from it. All right. I know this question was a bit tricky one, because few options which many of you might not have read it. So such questions could be left also. But yes, if you have read about the basics of MPLAD under current affairs section, you must have read about it. It is used to create durable assets. Yes, true. All right. Then specified portions of each MP's fund must benefit SC/ST population. Yes. For SC talk, it says 15% and ST says 7.5%. Right question. This also should have been attempted. Then, so 1 and 2 are correct. So if we use the elimination technique, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So definitely B is not the answer. We just have to look at 3 and 4 correctness, whether they are right or not. All right. So MPLAD's funds are sanctioned on yearly basis, and unused funds cannot be carried forward to next year. Definitely third option is wrong, because it is a non-lapsable fund. So it is carry forward also. So third option is wrong. So definitely this is wrong. We just now have to check the veracity or correctness of the fourth point. District authority must inspect at least 10% of all works under implementation every year. Yes, this is the true fact. So I know this portion you might have not read in current affair. In case of fourth, many of you must have got stuck. But yes, regarding options 1, 2, and 3, we can still infer whether it's right or wrong. In such cases, yes, when you get stuck and you have doubt regarding this fourth point, I would advise you all to just leave such questions. Don't go after blind guesses. All right. Okay. Which one of the following categories of fundamental rights incorporates protection against untouchability? Direct question, it comes under right to equality. It talks about Article 14 to 18. All right. Simple question, direct, and every year from this fundamental rights section, question is coming. Fundamental right and preamble. So do read this, because since last 3-4 years, basically, what we are seeing, change of trend, and these polity-based questions, these 6 questions are coming. Separation of judiciary from the executive is enjoined by what? Direct questions, DPSP. Article 50 talks about separation of executive. So direct question. So I don't think so. Out of this 5 questions, only one question was tricky. That is third one. In that case also, if you know the option 4, then you can attempt. Otherwise, rest of the questions were easy. So 4 questions, so you could have attempted it. So out of cutoff, you had to score 47% correct, right? So out of 47, 43, only 43 is left. All right. Along with the budget, finance minister also places other documents before the parliament, which include macroeconomic framework statement. Direct question, I don't think so. These statements, a foresight document is presented because it is mandated by. Direct question, even if you had not read the polity part, it is also mentioned in economy, where we talk about fiscal deficit. So it's a direct question. All right. Basically, what you need to be aware of, FRBM Act talks about 3 documents, mandates: macroeconomic framework statement, medium term fiscal policy statement, and lastly, annual financial statement and demand for grants. That is budget. So this is it mandates. So direct question. Although we do pass budget under these two articles, but it doesn't mandate about these documents. Then this question, if you have seen the analysis of the 2021 video, 2020 paper, you must have seen this is the repetition question. This question same has been asked in the 2021 also. So repetition of questions are also there. Simple direct question, because in that case they are asked from the angle of constitutionalism, and this time constitutional government by definition is simple question, limited government, same option. Again simple question. Then other than the fundamental rights, which of the following parts of the Constitution of India reflects the principles and provisions of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? See, in this question, many of you must have thought it's a out of syllabus question. We have not read about Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All right, it does seems to be difficult. But if you look at what is the question asking? It says, other than fundamental rights, which of the following parts of the Constitution reflects the principles and provisions, basically, which are in tune with the principles of this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So basically, you just have to find out the parts of the Constitution which are upholding the human rights. So simple direct question, yes, preamble, we talk about equality, liberty, fraternity, and all that. DPSP also welfare state, socialism, and fundamental duties, yes. What be duties? We citizens have duties to ensure that human rights over there is respected. So definitely answer has to be D. So direct question, yes, this was bit tricky, but if you had used the common sense, this would be attemptable. Okay, so now I hope out of these 8 questions, only one question was tricky. Two were tricky, basically, I would say. Rest 6 was attemptable. All right. In India, legal services authority provide free legal services. Yes, this question was not attemptable questions, because we do study about legal services under Article 39 in DPSP, but we don't study about exact criteria, all right, regarding what is the income limit or threshold limit has been set. So in such cases, such questions have to be left. That's it. If question is UPSC, like in 2021, UPSC had asked question on judicial custody and police custody. So such questions have to be left. Even this one, you're supposed to leave, because we are supposed to study polity at surface level. We don't have to go into depth. We are not here to become a lawyer. All right. So such questions have to be left. And yes, if you look at the answer to this question, because this is very specific question, specific and database. All right. So in this case, answer is basically 1 and 2. Person with annual income of less than 1 lakh, that person is eligible. Also transgender with annual income less than 2 lakh, they both are eligible. But not all senior citizens are not eligible. If senior citizen is rich, he is not eligible. So definitely 4 is incorrect. All right. If you look at third option, member of OBC with an annual income of less than 3 lakh. All right. Even this is wrong statement, because in this OBCs, what is that? If their income is more than 9,000 per year, then it is the discretion of the state whether to include them or not. But otherwise, they are not included. And apart from these, who all are eligible? Like in case if in future UPSC asks the questions, women, children, SC, ST, industrial labor, then victims of disaster, all right, then traffic, human victims, these are eligible. All right, not all. You just have to, such questions are to be left. You see, we are here to clear the cutoff, not here to score the marks. Just keep this in mind, and to develop the confidence, guts to leave such questions. All right, if you look at this question 10, this should have been attempted, I would say, because all these conventions were in news. Okay, Alma Ata Declaration, yes. Health, because of COVID, it was in news. Hague Convention, it was in news because many parents died, so children became orphan. So it was in news because of adoption related. So this is wrong. This should have been adoption. The Luna dialogue, climate change issues were emerging. Yes, this is right. Even undertook collision, this was related to climate change. So all this, even if not by looking at the options, I do expect you must all be aware of these. Even in future, UPSC will be asking question on agreements. Every year it asks from IR section. So do prepare. Earlier it has been asking question on environment agreements and their subject. So this time they changed because these Almata and Hague and Talonau, these were in so much in news in 2020. So this was right current based questions, and if you were not able to attempt it, because reason would be simple that you didn't revise that. All right, but do prepare a list of these agreements and subject. It will hardly take one single sheet, and in that you can write all the 50-60 agreements which all you come across while studying the your basic subjects: environment, IR, and health, education, literature. So these basics. All right, and you just have to keep on revising them. So simple. Its answer would be 1 is correct, 2 is wrong, 3 is correct, and 4 is wrong. So 1 and 3 is. So direct question. All right. Parliamentary system of government. This was also question asked in 2021 to compare parliamentary system of British and India. So direct question, and also direct from Lakshmikant, should have been attempted. Parliamentary system simply says that government is responsible to parliament. The government is responsible to parliament. Any other option? All political parties in parliament? No, this is not. Government is elected by people and can be removed by them. No, it is removed by government, always elected by people but not removed by people. It is removed by parliament. The government is chosen by the parliament, it cannot be removed, right? No, it can be removed. This is the best option B. Even if not aware of what is parliament system, still you can, by reading these options, you can attempt. But yes, you should be well aware of the basic definition. Right? Which part of constitution declares idea of welfare state? Direct question, DPSP. Constitution of India defines its basic structure in terms of federalism, secularism, fundamental rights, and democracy. All right? Defines its basic structure. See, first question is wrong. Why? Although we do have basic structure, but that basic structure has been defined by the Supreme Court in Keshananda Bharti case, not Constitution of India. So this is wrong. It says Constitution of India. Do read every keyword very carefully. Then Constitution of India provides for judicial review to safeguard this. Constitution of India does not provide directly for this judicial review, rather it is provided by Supreme Court judgment. So judicial review related Supreme Court judgment are Minerva Mills case and IR Goyal case. These two are the ones cases, all right? And IR Goyal case, this was question asked in mains also once. So answer definitely both are wrong. D. So direct question. If you look at 16, preamble of the, see, if you look analyze 5-6 questions have been asked only on these basic concepts: preamble, fundamental rights, and DPSP, and fundamental duty. And if you just, and these are really very important because all these topics, rights, DPSP, duties, they are in news constantly. Even duties are in news constantly right now. That balance between right and fundamental duties. Even Supreme Court has given judgment in Amit Sahni case that we need to maintain balance between rights and duties because it was regarding Shaheen Bagh case. So you need to, if anything comes into newspaper, current affair or some topic is in news, so do link that basic, current affair news with the basics. All these questions are in news only. All right, even if not in news, these are part of basics only. So preamble of the Constitution, if you look at this, what it says in Supreme Court, this is also based on, if you have read Lakshmikant direct question, Berubari Union case, and it simply said that preamble of it is a part of the Constitution. So part of the Constitution, not part, this is wrong. Part, right? Then if you look at, but has no legal effect. Yes, it doesn't have a legal effect. This is option, could be right. Has no legal effect either. Is not a part of the Constitution, has no legal effect either. This is a bit confusing statement. A part of the Constitution has the same legal effect as any other part. Wrong. Part of the Constitution has no legal effect independently of other effects, parts. Yes, this is the best statement. It says that preamble does not have the independent existence. Preamble has to be read with the fundamental right, fundamental duty, or any other part of the Constitution of India. Only then it has the legal effect. Otherwise, it does not. So best answer is D. Yes, it was a bit confusing, but do interpret it carefully. Then if you look at 15, which one of the following is the characteristics appropriate for bureaucracy, which you all are aspiring for. It is an agency for widening the scope of parliamentary democracy. No. Agency for strengthening structural federalism. No. Agency for facilitating political stability and economic growth. No. Agency for implementation of public policy. Simple question. That's the definition of executive. If we look at executive, judiciary, legislature. Executive here, they implement laws. Legislature frame laws. Judiciary interpret laws. So simply implementation of public policy. Direct simple question. 15. D is the answer. One common agreement between Gandhianism and Marxism. What is it? See, Gandhi used to say stateless society, but Marxism was not about stateless. He wanted to have a state. So this is wrong. Then if you look at, no, sorry, my bad. Both of them wanted socialism, yes. But yes, Marxism wanted complete socialism. But in case of Gandhi, he wanted there should be democratic socialism. But yes, what common both of them had, that there should be stateless society. So A is correct. Then class struggle. In case of Marxism, he was totally against class inequalities, but Gandhi was not. Gandhi was there should be equality, yes, but he was not against rich poor people. He, instead of that, he gave the concept of trusteeship, that rich should also contribute. Then abolition of private property. If you look at abolition of private property, no. Marxism said, but Gandhi was never against the private property. He gave the concept of that same trusteeship. Then economic determinism. It says basically economy determines the setup, political setup or societal setup. No, this was also wrong. This goes against the concept of socialism, because this is it basically reflects the capitalistic ideology. So definitely answer was Marxism. So definitely he wanted to establish anarchy, stateless. Gandhi used to say that there should be self-governance at the village level without any political body. He said that we need to have faith in the public, and public through various interaction, social interaction, they will frame rules for themselves and they will behave morally, ethically. So there should be stateless society. So simple question. If you are just simple basic idea, you must have studied Marxism in world history and Gandhism, and even if not in world history and all, but you must have read about in Lakshmikant also. Lakshmikant also talks about what kind of socialism we have set up in the DPSP part. Or also under when you study preamble topic, in that way is the elaboration of socialist topic. All right. So out of 16, I don't think so. 16 questions of polity, there were hardly 1 or 2 questions which were tough. Rest were attemptable. So 14 questions were attemptable. All right. Okay. Gold tranche, which is also known as reverse tranche, refers to what? Simple question. Under economy, when we study multilateral topic, and especially WTO, IMF, and World Bank. So simple question, gold tranche, we know it is a credit system granted by IMF. Even if you just have to read World Bank, Central Bank, WTO. No, we know this tranche word is associated with IMF. So if, even through that, we would have attempted this question. So such sometimes very easy questions also come, but we tend to get confused and attempt the questions wrong. So just do read each and every keywords. Gold tranche, reverse tranche, okay, where we had studied this topic, IMF. Even if in some other option IMF would have been there, then you should be able to go take one more step forward and understand what is tranche, gold tranche and all. Again, polity-based questions. We reference to provisions contained in Part 4 of the Constitution of India, which of the following statement is or are correct. Part 4, basically, it is DPSP, as we all know. All right. So what it says, they shall be enforceable by courts. No, that's the basic difference between fundamental right and DPSP. They are not enforceable. So one option is wrong. So elimination D, only B and D is left. So definitely 2 is common, so 2 is correct. They shall not be enforceable. Yes, we know. The principles laid down in this part are to influence the making of laws by the state. Yes, that's clearly mentioned in the Constitution of India in Article 36 and to 38 clearly mentioned that these are the principles that government needs to keep mind during governance while making policies or laws. All right, so definitely answer is D. Direct simple question. Then again 20th, if we look at what it says, President of India can summon a session of the Parliament at such place as he or she thinks fit. Yes, clearly mentioned under Article 85 of Constitution of India that as per the wishes of President's time and place, session could be conducted. All right, first is correct. If we look at options, definitely A and C. So we need to have look at the veracity of the third option. Second is definitely wrong. Constitution of India provides for 3 sessions of the Parliament in a year, but it is not mandatory to conduct all 3 sessions. See, it's Constitution of Ismail. What is the trick is, yes, definitely 3 sessions of a Parliament is conducted in the year: budget session, monsoon session, winter session. But this is provided by convention, not Constitution of India. So because of this keyword Constitution of India, this became wrong. Second, there is no minimum number of days that the Parliament is required to meet a year. Yes, this is right. There is no minimum number of days. Constitution only provides that gap between 2 parliaments should not exceed more than 6 months. That's it. It doesn't provide for the number of days. All right. But why this question was asked? Because in last few years, what is happening? Number of days is declining with respect to parliament meetings. All right. It has declined less than 70 days in every year. So low. Parliament members who are deciding the very important laws for us, and they are meeting for less than 70 days out of 365. That's why this question was asked. So 3 is correct, 1 is, so answer is C. And according to the Constitution of India, a person who is eligible to vote can be made a minister in the state for 6 months, even if he or she is not a member of the legislature of the state. All right. Yes, he can be made even if he is not a member of the legislature of that state. According to RPI 1951, a person convicted of a criminal offense and sentenced to imprisonment for 5 years is permanently disqualified from contesting an election even after his release from prison. No, this is wrong. Basically, what section, this was also in news, section A3 of RPI, what it says that if someone gets the punishment for more than 2 years, then he's not permanently disqualified. Rather, he is not eligible for election. He can't stand for election. So basically, if he gets punishment for suppose 3 years, so 3 years he will serve in the jail term. For that period, he is not eligible. Further, RP further says that after his release, further for next 6 years, he won't be eligible. He or she won't be eligible. Only then, after completion of these 3 plus 6 years, then he will be eligible. Otherwise, not. All right. Okay. Then regarding this is also wrong. Why? Because it says the minister can be made for 6 months even if he or she is not member of the legislative state. He can be made, but provided within 6 months that individual has to get elected. So that way, this is also wrong. So answer is D. All right. I guess questions of polity are over. So let's look at it now. Next set of questions. These are on the history. All right. So out of polity, 20 questions were there. At least 16 to 17 we are able to attempt. So out of target is 47 because paper was tough. So out of 47, 16 are attempted. So only 31 questions are left for us to attempt. Out of 80 questions, only 30 is left. See. All right. With reference to the history of India, consider following pairs. What says Aurang, Baniya, Mirasidar. See, what you have to learn from this is, from analysis, that every year UPSC is asking, picking up keywords or terms from ancient and medieval. They're picking up these terms and asking questions on these. So you need to, whenever you read your book sources, whatever you have, do note whatever keywords you come across in ancient medieval, their favorite area mainly has been from ancient is Gupta Empire and Mauryas. These two. In medieval, there is Vijayanagar. So maximum questions are coming from these two. But yes, whatever you sources are reading NCERT, if you come across any such keywords, do read. And if question is asked from outside your limited sources, then just leave those questions. You're not knowing that question, then others also won't be knowing, apart from only 1%, 2% people. Right? So no need to worry about such questions. Yes, such questions are to be left, I would say, if you have not read it. But yes, these keywords are mentioned in the your limited sources, Tamil Nadu history and NCERT. In those, it's completely mentioned. All right. So let's have a look at Orang. Orang simply means it's what it says that it is Persian term for warehouse. And yes, now since this keyword has been asked in the previous question, so do expect such keyword to come in future also, future exams. Right? Bania, yes, he was the Indian agent of the East India Company. 2 is correct, 1 is wrong. If 1 is wrong, definitely this is gone. 2 is correct. So through this also you can attempt. B is the answer. Mirasidar, yes, he was a designated revenue payer to the state. And if you look at Bania, on this, UPSC had asked question in the previous year also. That trader-based question came where keyword was Banjara. Alright. So this is how UPSC is playing with us. They are asking question on the basis of previous year only. It's just we don't analyze our previous year questions properly. That's why we are not able to attempt. And this Mirasidar, basically, he was the revenue payer to the state. Basically, this was created under Rotwari system. And we do study Rotwari system also. So clearly, when you study Rotwari system, this keyword you will find it, Mirasidar. So that's why I'm saying whenever you come across any keyword, history books or sources, whatever you're following, do note them in a sheet of paper. All right. So this question is 50-50. Some of you can attempt, some you cannot attempt. But yes, who cannot attempt, please do change your approach. Don't take ancient medieval lightly. All right. With reference to the religious history of India, consider following statements. What it says: Staviravidins belong to Mahayan Buddhism. Then second says Lokatara Vadin sect was an offshoot of Mahasangika sect of Buddhism. Third, deification of Buddha by Mahasangika fostered the Mahayan Buddhism. Now see, basically it's talking about Buddhism, which is divided into Hinayan and Mahayan, and also Tatravachi. Alright. So in this, it's asking further in virtual subsects it is divided. So simple question, it's based on this. So this you have to basically what is question is, it's the favorite topic of UPSC, Buddhism and Jainism. Question has been asked on this. All right. So let's have a look at these options. Staviravadins. Basically, these are also known as Mahasangikas. All right. Basically, what happened? Sorry, not known as, it's another part. Basically, during Second Buddhist Council, what happened? Buddhism was divided into two parts: Staviravadins and Mahasangikas. In these two parts. All right, Staviravadins, they follow rigorous rule of conduct, and Mahasangikas, no. All right, they don't follow rigorous rules, and these acted as the precursor for Mahayan Buddhism, where we'll find in future Buddhist Council, Mahayan Buddhism would be formed. All right, and these Mahasangikas, they were further subdivided into different parts: Lokataravadin, Ekavya, Vaharikas, and Kutikas. All right, so its subpart was not Mahayan; they were precursor. All right, so if you look at first option is wrong because they not belong to Mahayan Buddhism, because Mahasangika does. Then Lokataravadi sect was an offshoot of Mahasangikas. Yes, it's an offshoot of. So second option is correct. Then deification of Buddha by Mahasangikas fostered the Mahayan Buddhism. Yes, because deification. Now see, this is a new keyword. Some of you might be able to interpret. Some of you might not have it. In such cases, what happened? What you can use this? You can use this Hindi translation. Sorry, in upwards. Alright. बुद्ध के देवत्वारोपण बेसिकली आइडल वर्शिप, उसको गॉड की फॉर्म में देखा। तो दिस इज द डेफिनेशन। तो आप हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन भी देख सकते हो, जिसकी हेल्प से आपको इजी हो सकता है कुछ वर्ड्स जो नहीं समझ आए। ऑलराइट, ऐसे मेंस में भी हुआ था एक बार ऐसे के केस में, व्हेन पीपल गॉट कंफ्यूज्ड व्हाट वाज द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट टर्म। तो ऐसे केसेस में क्या होता है, यू जस्ट लुक एट द ट्रांसलेशन, या जो भी आपकी रीजनल लैंग्वेज होगी उस लैंग्वेज में ट्रांसलेशन आप देख सकते हैं। ऑलराइट, so definitely answer was B. But yes, you do study Buddhism. This is the favorite topic of Buddhism. Jainism is favorite topic of UPSC. So do have a good read of this topic. Alright. If we look at which of the following statements correctly explains the impact of industrial revolution on India during the first half of the 19th century. 19th century first half, it says basically 1800 to 1850s. It's clearly mentioned in spectrum. Because of industrial revolution, what was happening? Agriculture got ruined and our Indian handicrafts got ruined. So definitely answer has to be A. Machines were introduced. They were introduced only post 1850s, where Indian jute and cotton mills, textile industry got set up. Railways, they were also after the Lousy came, 1850s. Heavy duties were imposed on the import of British manufacture. This is definitely wrong question, a wrong option, because low duties were imposed. So it's simple question. All right. Now see, 24th question. This, on the basis of this question, if you have a look at, this is talking about contemporary kingdoms and all. So UPSC had given us clear signal that they would be asking these contemporary based questions in future also. In 2021 also, contemporary kingdoms based questions came. So when you read history books, do note down, if you're studying about Gupta, then do note down what all the contemporary kingdoms are there. Alright. Yes, this question was a bit specific, and I don't expect you all to attempt, because all these kingdoms were ruling at the same time only. So arranging them in chronologically, कि कौन पहले है कौन बाद में, it becomes very challenging. So such questions have to be left simply. Alright, but yes, if we look at the answer is, let's find out what could be answer. So such questions have to be left. No need to attempt. See, Palwas, first came the Palwas. They ruled from 255 to 877, and during this period, their ruler was Mahendra Varman. He ruled from 571 to 630 AD. Alright, so they were the first one to come. So first one, these two. Then comes, after them came Palas. Alright, Palas, founder of Gopala. He basically ruled from, Palas ruled from 8th to 12th century. And Gopala, if you look at his specific, 750 to 770. So definitely 630 or 750. So answer is this. See, rise of Pratiharas basically 851 C के around, century के around. And if you look at Chola power, definitely they came only after 9th century only, or you can say 907 here. So this is how it was supposed to be attempted. But yes, such questions are to be left, because it becomes very difficult because we are not aware of the exact years. And don't change your approach in history, that don't start mugging up the years of the rulers. No, that will be a waste of time, no cost benefit. All right, these are just questions to distract your preparation. All right. Which of the following phrases defines the nature of hundi, generally referred to in the source of post-Asha? Hundi, it's a very common term. You do read about it in the current also economic session also, economics. Simple question, answer would have been C, 25 plus C. So direct question. All right. But yes, do note this year one more community is in news, Angadias. Right. This was in news because Angadias are basically traditional courier, and such couriers are being harassed by one of the officer in Maharashtra, IPS officer. So case has been registered against that IPS officer. So do be aware of this keyword also, Angadias, because it's in current affair news, and many articles have been coming up in the last month on this topic. All right. Okay, so Hundis. Okay, so now let's move to the next question, 26th. Now see, this question is, I don't expect us to solve this question, because this question 26 one, we have not read about it. In the spectrum also it's not there. So in such questions, and even if you must have read about that this book was written, this book was written by this writer, but you don't go into further detail that what was the detail of those books. So it's better to leave such questions, and also don't start reading about the books. What are the summary of that book? No, that will be a waste of time. So such questions have to be left. But yes, answer is it warned against the colonial states' hypnotic conquest of the mind. Yes. It inspired the performance of Swadeshi street plays. Yes. Because this books were main role in the Swadeshi movement. And use of Deshbhai Deskar was in specific context of the region of Bengal. No, it was in the context of whole India, not just Bengal. So answer is A. But yes, such questions have to be left. But yes, what we can learn from here is, first of all, we need to be now well aware of this. Also, one more thing, you can use this as an example in your mains answer. When you will be, if somehow questions come on Swadeshi movement, and you have to show how Swadeshi movement, through what methods Swadeshi message was being spread. So you can use this example. All right. Gandhi Irwin Pact, direct questions. I don't think so you should face any problem in this. Even this year also, Gandhi Irwin Pact is in news because of Bhagat Singh. Punjab government came. All right. So there's a direct question from the spectrum. I don't think so you should face any problem in this. There were 11 demands. All right. So definitely its answer is invitation of Congress to participate in the round table conference. Yes, Gandhi ji agreed. Withdrawal of ordinance promulgated in connection with the civil disobedience movement. We are not sure about this. Then, because it was dicey, yes and no. All right. Acceptance of Gandhi's suggestion for inquiry into police excesses. No, it was not. It was refused by Irwin. Release of only those prisoners who were not charged with violence. Yes. So if you look at 1 and 4 are correct, definitely. But we are not sure about second option because it's not mentioned in the spectrum. So because of this reason, because second is a bit of controversial and we are not sure about. So what UPSC did, UPSC had removed this question. Although it's a very easy question, but because one question was not confused, because some says it was withdrawn, some says it doesn't get withdrawn. Okay, so that's why UPSC had removed. But yes, I do expect this question you all should have been able to attempt it. All right. If you look at 30th question, whoever praises his religious sect or blames other sects of out of excessive devotion to his own sect with the view of glorifying his own sect, he rather injures his own sect very severely. If you थोड़ा सा detail में पढ़ोगे and if you just try to interpret, this is talking about secularism and respect other sects and not just being too much involved in our own sect. Alright, it is talking about this. So on the basis you can easily attempt this question Ashoka, because rest of them were not secular, although they did tolerated and promoted other religions, but not as secular as Ashoka was. On this basis, it could have been attempted. But yes, if you're not sure, then leave such questions. We are not supposed to attempt all 100 questions. Yes, Kulya Bappa, Drona Bappa, I do expect this because, as I said earlier, also Gupta period is very favorite period of UPSC. Whatever keywords you come across regarding Gupta period, do note them and do revise them. So this is the question from that only. Kulya Bappa and Drona Bappa, they are refers to measurement of land. This was, for me, it is an easy question because I would have been studying about Gupta. But yes, if you're not able to attempt this question, it's okay. No need to feel bad. But yes, next time, whenever you go for pre, do study about Gupta period in detail. All the keywords you come across through your sources. Right? And one more term regarding measurement of land, it is also known as Adhaka Vappa. ADHAKVAPA. Alright. But I do expect, and Vappa means VAPA means sowing of land or act of sowing. And this is the favorite topic of UPSC, Gupta period. So do learn all the keywords. Alright. With Vanashak, the first monthly journal to have the untouchable people as its target audience, was published by some of you might have read it, some of you might have not. It's okay. This question also was supposed to be left. Alright. Answer was Gopal Baba Golankar. Alright. So this question could be left. But yes, 2 questions came on the books. So do keep in mind that in future, UPSC might ask questions on books. So Whatever you're reading, Tamil Nadu history, NCRT, Spectrum, you come across any book, so do note down its writer also. Because in 2021 also, UPSC had question on the book songs from prison written by Gandhiji. All right. So I hope now you are able to get how to do analysis and how to approach your syllabus. See, questions are based on similar trend only. If some questions come out of outside the trend, then such questions are to be left. Do try to attempt. If you're not able to attempt, then leave it. But not all questions have to be attempted. Just keep this in mind. All right. With reference to the cultural history of India, which one of the following is the correct description of the paramitas? All right, paramitas. This question. Some of you might have read it, some of you not. Such questions have to be left. All right. Its simple question is. Answer is. Paramitas basically means these are perfection whose attainment led to the bodhisattva path. So yes, Buddhism, Jainism, it's a very vast topic. People are pursuing PhD on it. So how can you expect that we would be aware of these every information on these? Just stick to your basic sources, and if question comes from those sources regarding Buddhism, Jainism, then attempt, otherwise leave it. Right? But yes, now this question has been asked, then this is your knowledge gain. So that in future, if someone you come across the term paramitas, you should be well aware of. So this question has to be left. Okay, Rakmabai case, question was asked. Why? Because it was in news. Supreme Court had referred to this Rakmabai case of 1884 in one of its judgment. Okay. But yes, we do study about Rakmabai. It's clearly mentioned in NCRTs. Okay. So it's clearly mentioned that its history and its answer would be basically this case revolved on. Although she did fight for the right to education for women, but it talks about this case. All right, so this would be wrong. But yes, this case was for the age of consent and restitution of conjugal rights. So answer is B. This was simple question. All right. Because why she got famous? Because she was the first one who got her child marriage dissolved. And she also the first women doctor in British India. All right. So independently, she did fight for the right of the women's education. But this case was not regarding education, rather it was regarding her child marriage. All right. Indigo cultivation in India declined by the beginning of the 20th century because of diet question. I don't think so. You should face any problem because of its unprofitability in the world market because of invention. Synthetic dyes were discovered. Right. And indigo was also known as, you should be well aware of, it was known as blue gold, because it brought fortunes for British and as well as indigo planters, cultivators. Okay. Okay. Wellesley's charges of Fort William. Diet question from Spectrum. Diet question. I think so. You should face any problem because he wanted to train British civilians for the administrative purpose. Clearly mentioned in the Spectrum book. Not even Spectrum. Tamil Nadu history. Ulkulan or the Great Tumble. It's a very tight question from the civil rebellion topics, and we know answer is Birsa Munda. Because if UPSC is asking tough question like 31, 32 is also tough, then it has also asked 33, 34, 35. Diet question, easy questions. So you don't have to build pressure on yourself. Just be calm. If you come across any tough question, just be calm and leave it and just move to next question. Only. So literature is very favorite topic in 2021 also. We saw question on literature in 2020 also. So do read literatures very properly. Okay. So Panani is associated with Pushyamitra, Shunga. Parasimha is associated with Harshvardhan. Kalidas associated with Chandragupta. So diet question, it's based. So if we look at what's the answer, as we know, Chandragupta has the Navratna. One of them was Kalidas. So third is right. Right. So these three, out of these three, we have to look at. So let's have a look at two options. If 2 is wrong, that means obviously these two options will also get wrong. Amar Singh is associated with Harshvardhan. No, Bhanubhat was associated. So, right? And Amar Singh was one of the Navratna of Chandragupta. So this is wrong. Right? And Panini is associated with Pushyamitra Shunga. No. Panini was basically, he is known for the grammar book Ashtadhyayi, and he is also known for Takshila University. Sungas were present in 185 BC and Panini was present around 500 BC. So definitely they are erased wrong. So 1 is also wrong. So answer is simply C. That means only third option is correct. This also question was right question, could have been attempted by you all. If not, then you need to revise again and again. Right? In the context of recent advances in human reproductive technology, pro-nuclear transfer, right question. If you study about biotechnology and also mitochondrial technology, right question is. And in the 21 also, question came on mitochondria. Because this has been in news. And it's simple question, right? In the present state of development, artificial intelligence can effectively do which of the following? Artificial intelligence. It is a new frontier technology and it can perform any task which is performed by Indians, right? Any task, sorry, not just Indians, by humans. So if we look at artificial intelligence, it will bring down electricity consumption, yes, because they automation and also ensure efficiency. So yes. And create meaningful short stories and songs, yes, they can. Then disease diagnosis, yes. Then text to speech conversion, yes. Then wireless transmission of electrical energy, yes. Even AI is being indulged in this thing also. Alright, basically how they are doing a wireless transmission, basically how transmission of power takes place. So suppose this is a place where power is generated. Alright, so power generator generates magnetic field. This magnetic field has traveled and this reaches another transformer. To transform converts the magnetic field back to power. So electricity, magnetic field generated, magnetic field travels and converted back to electricity. This is how basically electricity transmission takes place. So this thing, how this transmission taking place, this can be handled by artificial intelligence also. So that means this is also correct. Answer is D. Clear? All right. If you look at 39th, with reference to visible light communication technology, which of the following statements are correct? 1 second. All right. If you look at this, VLC technology. See, this is question based on electromagnetic spectrum. And do read about this electromagnetic spectrum, radio waves, microwaves, light, visible light, X-rays, all these waves. Do read there what are the frequency or wavelength values. Those questions are being asked on them directly. Similarly, in this case also, question has been asked directly on the values also. So visible light communication technology, basically in past also, if you look at, question had been asked on the Wi-Fi used for internet transmission. So similarly, this question was expected because quantum technology also is in use, visible light technology also. So it was expected. So as we know, visible light technology, these are short range. So that means they have low wavelength, sorry, high wavelength and low energy. Okay. So they have wavelength 375 to 780 nanometer. Yes, this is right. They are known as long range optical wireless communication. No, they are short range. So 2 is wrong. Okay, so 2 is wrong. If you look at the option 2, 2, 2, this is wrong. So definitely answer is C. Through elimination also we are able to attain. Okay, they can transmit large amount of data passing Bluetooth. Yes. No electromagnetic interference. Yes. Light doesn't phase. It's the radio waves and Bluetooth that phases. So this question was attemptable if you have just studied about this electromagnetic spectrum. And this is the basic of science and technology. In blockchain technology, again, this question was easy, not tough. Blockchain technology is in news. Every day we get to hear about it. Okay. If you look at its answer, it is a public ledger that everyone can inspect, but which no single user controls. Yes, decentralized system and structure and design of blockchain is such that all data in it are about cryptocurrency only. No, it can store any data, voting rights, healthcare information, education, finance data, health related data, any data. So not just cryptocurrency. So second is wrong. 1 is correct. We have to see 1 and 3. Third, application that depend on basic feature of blockchain can be developed without anybody's permission. Yes, application can be developed by anyone. Even I, you, anyone can develop. Answer is D. Easy question. I don't think so. Yeah, any The question was tough in the science and tech field. Out of these 4 questions, it's just, if you are not able to attempt, that means it shows your basics are not strong and you have not done revision. All right, nanotubes, again favorite topic of UPSC. Every year question is coming on nanotech also, biotech, nanotech, and IT sector, IT, computer, robotics. In this area, questions are coming, right? All right, if you look at the answer question, they can be used as carrier of drugs and antigens human body. Yes, they are being, nanorobots are being developed. They can be made into artificial blood capillaries for an injured part of human body. No, that is biotech is being developed, but not nanotech. We are still in process. So 2 is wrong. If you look at the option 2 is wrong, definitely answer is C. So elimination also. They can be used in biochemical sensors. Yes, we're using it, and they are biodegradable. Yes, this is the basic feature of this carbon nanotubes. That's why we are using as the carrier of drugs. Carrier of drugs. All right. If you look at 43rd question, this is a direct current based question and should have been attempted by you all. Direct current based question. Experiment will employ a trio of spacecraft flying in formation in the shape of equilateral triangle that are sides 1 million kilometer long with lasers shining between the craft. This simple question was in news. This is to study the sun, to evolve Lisa. Answer. Direct question. All right. Genetic change. So basically what you have to learn from this question is that whatever science and tech innovation is taking place across the world, do have a basic idea of that. Because UPSC had asked question on world science and tech based questions earlier also. Just study only those which you have read in current affair booklets. That's it. Not beyond that. Spraying pesticides on a crop field, at a present level of technology, which of the above activities can be successfully carried out by using drones? Drones. Again, drones is in news in this. Today also it was in news. Day before yesterday also. It's because it, and also one of the reason is drones are being used for terrorist attack also. Pathankot attack we have seen. So it was expected that you should have the basic knowledge of drones, not just study from the perspective of security, but from science and tech also. All right. So if you look at this answer, yes, pesticides, to spray pesticides, we are using it. Inspecting craters, yes. And collecting breath samples from spouting whales of Daniels. Yes, you all must have got confused in this option, third, whether it is right or not. If you are getting confused, then such questions are to be left. But now, for your knowledge sake, yes, drones are also being used to collect samples from whales. All right. So answer is D, but yes, such questions could have been left. No need to run after that, and no need to stress yourself or say that you don't know this option. You should have been known. No, even I wouldn't have been able to attempt this question while giving exam. So it's a normal. All right. 45th. What is the importance of using pneumococcal conjugate vaccines? So vaccines. What it shows, vaccines. Favorite topic of UPSC to study in detail about vaccines. 2021 also came in previous year also. Question had been coming on vaccines. So do study on it in detail. Vaccine. All right. So all right, about this pneumococcal conjugate vaccines. If you look at these vaccines are effective against pneumonia as well meningitis. Yes, basically these vaccines are part of Indradhanush mission. So one is correct. Dependence on antibiotics that are not effective against drug-resistant bacteria can be reduced. Definitely, yes. Effectiveness of vaccines is being reduced because of antibiotics also. These vaccines have no side effects. Definitely, third option that has to be definitely wrong. There is no vaccine which has no side effects. All right, elimination is 3 wrong. 1 is correct, even 2 is correct. Answer is B. So it was a simple question. Although it did seem to be tough, but it was very simple question. Even if not aware of first, second, we know it's in news because of antibiotics. What is happening? Vaccines effectiveness is decreasing. This is we know, and third, we know it is absolutely wrong. So through that also we can attempt this question. This question should have been attempted by you all. All right. If you look at 44, genetic changes can be introduced in the cells that produce eggs or sperms of prospective parent. Yes, this is to what biotech technology is. 1 is correct. We have proper correctness. All right. Person's genome can be edited before birth at the early embryonic gene. Yes, biotech. Human-induced pluripotent stem cells can be injected into embryo of pig. Yes, it was in news that we are using human stem cells to create different human body parts in the pig. Pancreas. We are trying to create pancreas. So it was Japanese scientist who has got approval for it. So that way, so it's a simple. It was clearly mentioned in current affair news. So definitely answer is D. So I don't think so. Even this question should have been attempted. In this page, I don't think so. There's any question except 42. I don't think so. There's any question which you can attempt. If you're not able to attempt, that means you're not reading the basics of science and tech properly, and also not covered current affair properly. Questions are based on these only. All right. Public key infrastructure. Right question. I don't think so. You would have given second thought about it. Right question simply related to digital security infrastructure. Every day it is in news. Aadhaar related. Then even on WhatsApp you must have read that encrypted messages. You exchange your key and make it secret. Your chats. Encrypted key. Right. Simple question. Which of the following statements are correct regarding general difference between plant and animal cells? Plant cells have cellulose cell walls. Yes, this question for you it was a bouncer question or eye opener, because since last 5-6 years UPSC had stopped asking questions on the basic science. But yes, in last year they had asked question on basic science. So do study your basic science, because in 2021 also few questions, 3-4 questions came on basic science. So this is UPSC showing the change of trend in science and tech. So do keep in mind this thing and be aware of this thing. All right. This question was yes, I don't expect apart from medical students, other students be able to attempt this question. So this question have to be left. But yes, for basic knowledge, what you need to keep in mind is in future if question comes regarding plant cells, what they have cell walls, chloroplasts, clastids, central vacuole. Do remember the diagram of plant cell, animal cell, and these things are absent in animal cell. Then animal they have centrioles, centrioles, but these are absent in plants. And also what both of them have, plant and animals, they both have plasma membrane. Alright, so on the basis of this, if we try to attempt this question, answer would be simple. This 1 and 3 is correct. This is wrong because both have plasma membrane. Just do keep this thing in mind. And do now your aim should be to study basic science also. Those questions are being asked. Alright, 48th question, benzene pollution. Favorite topic of UPSC. Every year question is coming on pollution. So you should be well aware of all the gases, and they're almost similar gases only. Alright, benzene is released from almost burning of fossil fuels. We want benzene is released. Alright. So benzene ke just to be aware of its sources. Natural sources are for benzene pollution is volcano, forest fire. Wherever there is a fire or some smoke is released, benzene would be present. Just keep this in mind, basic. And also human sources, human activity based sources, they are automobile. Yes, they are exhaust है यहाँ पे, no, exhaust, yes, automobile exhaust हो गया, yes. Then industries, yes, from industries they are released. Alright, using varnish 4 and feature, ये तो है ही नहीं. Definitely this is wrong. 4 is wrong, so definitely through this also you can attempt, because varnish doesn't release the benzene pollution. But otherwise, if you have to be aware of this benzene pollution, automobile exhaust, industry, then fuel evaporation at gas station, जो basically जो smell आती है, that is also based on benzene only. Then indoor air, cigarettes, building material, paints and adhesives, from that it is released. And benzenes are flammable liquid with sweet odor. Alright, these are nothing but plastics. Alright, this question could have been attempted. So if not, that means you have not revised your environment properly. Alright, if another global financial crisis happens in the near future, which of the following action policies are most likely to give some immunity to India? So basically talking about global financial crisis in future. So to tackle this, what steps we need to take? In 2021 paper also we saw financial crisis about to happen, then how to tackle it what steps government needs to take. All right. So same repetitive questions are being asked by UPSC. You don't have to worry about this. You have to keep revising all these things. All right. So basically, so what all steps? Not depending on short-term foreign borrowing. Yes, we don't have to develop dependent on the hot money. That's why we focus on FDI. We restrict FII because we have seen in the East Asian Tigers scenario in 1996 how they suffered because of the short-term foreign borrowings. That means first is correct. The answer would be A, B, and D. One of these. Right? Opening up to more foreign banks. No. This may or may not help us in tackling global financial crisis. It may not. So this could be not be the answer. Maintaining full capital account convertibility, no. This is definitely wrong. Third option is also wrong. Why? Because full capital account convertibility, what would happen? All Indians would start borrowing from foreign nations. They won't borrow from domestic market. And if they are borrowing from foreign market, that means demand for dollar is increasing relative to rupee. So that means Indian economy would ultimately decline. Alright, one of the reasons because of forex exchange. Also, there would be increase in burden of foreign debt. It will increase the RCAD, current account deficit. Even capital account deficit would increase. Then also it will affect our balance of trade. And also borrowing in foreign currencies is very volatile. So that means it will pose challenge to our economy. So that means 2 and 3 shouldn't be answered, just 1. So answer is A. Okay. If you look at next question, if you withdraw 1 lakh in cash from a demand deposit account at your bank, the immediate effect on the aggregate money supply in the economy would be. Now, if we look at, we are drawing that money is in the what? Money is in the bank. That means money is being used by the bank for the other purpose, and same money that we draw and we try to use in the economy. So is there change in the amount of money in the economy? No, I don't think so. There's change. So answer has to be leave it unchanged. Simply what you can think of, there's you must have read in economy, basic economy formulas regarding. So money supply, you must have read M1 money supply. It simply says currency with public plus demand deposit. So what we are doing, we are reducing 1 lakh cash from demand deposit and adding in 1 lakh. But is there change in the overall value of M1? No. All right. So simple question, just basic based questions. I hope this first part of the video was really helpful to all of you. If you have any doubt, you can simply mention, and yes, we will be continuing with the more series, and I will come up with the second part very soon. All right. First, have a look at the first part, and 2, develop techniques. My aim is not to teach you how to gain knowledge and all. My aim is to teach you how to attempt the questions through this analysis. All right, to develop techniques and develop some smart skills so that you are able to attempt the questions, even if you are not well aware of the facts, even if you are not well aware of all the options in the answers. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope this session was really helpful to all of you. Please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Okay. Thank you.